Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video we're gonna be talking about my fall book recs. If you can't tell, this is a pumpkin, but yes, I have a lot of fall books to recommend to you guys, and also a huge fall TBR of books that I want to read in the fall. If you're new here, my name is Karen. I do a lot of books, fashion, lifestyle content. If any of that is of interest to you, make sure to hit the subscribe button. This is kind of a mixture between books that I've already read and I'm recommending to you guys, and also, like I said, a lot of books that I've accumulated. So we're also doing a huge book haul on this video of books that I would like to read during the fall season because they're really fall themed. Fall is one of my favorite seasons. It's kind of tied between fall and Christmas. Although I know Christmas is not a season, it's a holiday, but I love winter as well. So let's just get started with the video. Fall is one of my favorite seasons. It's kind of tied between fall and Christmas. Although I know Christmas is not a season, it's a holiday, but I love winter as well. So let's just get started with the video. Starting with a fall book that Read Forever Pub sent me. So a publisher sent me this book. It's called Wishful Thinking. Look at the cover. Tell me if that's not the perfect fall cover. This is about a witch that lives in a mystic sea town, and there is romance in it, and it's super cute. I'm not going to be reading the descriptions of the books I haven't read yet because I want to be surprised by them. I'm just gonna kind of tell you what I know about them, but without reading the description in the back. But this is the first one. This is by Celestine Martin. I don't know if this one has been published yet because a lot of times they do send me the books before they've been published, so they're technically ARCs. But super cute fall witches theme book, and I'm obsessed, and I can't wait to read this one. There's gonna be a lot of dark academia books or like magic books in this video because that is the fall theme that I'm going for this season. The second book that I'm already reading is the first book of Harry Potter. I've been a Harry Potter fan since I was like 5 years old. I was obsessed with the movies. That's all I will watch. Obsessed. I'm a Gryffindor. I just love the movies so much, and I never thought to read the actual books. So now, as a 25-year-old woman, adult, I will be reading the Harry Potter books. This is the cover of the first book, and for my younger audience out there, this might be the only book series that I'm recommending on here that you can read. So, Harry Potter series, I'm obsessed. I think they have the second book here somewhere, but I don't think I have to go into detail about what Harry Potter is about because all of you probably know. Now a book recommendation of a book that I've actually read. This is a little bit messy because my books are a little bit disorganized, but this one is Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Rich. This is the first book in the Addicted series. I read it. It wasn't my favorite, but I've heard the series gets better. And this book, you know, the first book of the series are not usually the best, but it does have a lot of cute fall vibes. I shouldn't say cute. It does have some fall vibes. For some reason, this book kind of reminded me of fall when I read it, so I will be recommending on this channel. This is about a girl. She has a sex addiction, and then the guy has an alcohol addiction, and they are friends, and there's fake dating in it, found family, all of the good stuff. So I think it's a really good fall dark academia book. I'm reading this one right now, to a reading slump right now, so I have started like a lot of different books, and at this point I'm just trying to get into a book. It's not that books fall well, that's my problem, but I'll mention that on here. So my reading wrap up for this month will not be very big, but this is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This book, I'm currently on page 24, and because the letters are so freaking small, and that sometimes, but the ultimate fall vibe. This book is set in New England, and when you start reading, you just get that fall vibe, and it's awesome. Like, I know I'm gonna be obsessed with this book already. I thought it was gonna be a really heavy read, and it is a little bit more wordy than the books that I'm used to. This might be the ultimate fall book. Some students from a university, a murder happens, and there might be a little bit of a dark academia aspect to it. I'm not sure yet, but they know Greek, so there's a lot of Greek references in this book, and I try to explain because I'm not super into it, and the description in the back doesn't really give you much detail, but just go into it and be surprised. That's the fun thing about reading. Before BookTok and Goodreads, we went into books without knowing what they were about, so this one's a surprise. We've got the second book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. The first book is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I have talked about that book many times on my channel, so I'm not mentioning it in this video. But this is the second book. I'm still to read this one. I still have to read this one and the third one, but I really enjoyed the first one. I just haven't been in the mood for it. It's about a murder mystery. It's a high school murder mystery. Got killed like years ago, and then this one girl is writing a story for one of her classes about that murder because she thinks that the person who was accused didn't actually do it. And then there's just like a lot of drama that goes down, and it is a high school protagonist, and I think this might be for a younger audience. I know it's YA, so this is young adult, so just do some research about it if you're younger and are looking for some book recs. This might be appropriate for your age, but I'm not 100% sure. Then we've got, I mean, are we even surprised? Twilight. So Twilight is another series that I was obsessed with the movies. I read the book as a youngster, and now I'm 25 and I'm currently on page 232. This is a book that I'm kind of taking my time with because like I already know what happens in Twilight, so I'm not in a hurry to finish it. So I'm reading it and it's amazing. Like it gives you some more fall vibes or not necessarily in the movie, and I'm convinced that people who are obsessed with the books probably don't like the movies as much, and I think Bella was portrayed a little bit more antisocial in the movie than she actually is in the book, and a little bit more like sad-ish, but I could be wrong. But let me know in the comments if you like how Bella was portrayed in the movies, because now I'm starting to think that she was portrayed very differently in the books. But yes, we've got Twilight, perfect fall read. Vampires, scream fall, Halloween. Then we got a book that was also sent to me by Forever Pub, the publisher. We have quite a few of those in this pile. So this one is about fairies. This one girl was cursed by a fairy. This is kind of giving me Akatar vibes, but I think not as like dark and intense. So yeah, this one girl was cursed by a fairy, and there's a little bit of romance. This is like a romance fantasy book. Not too sure what it's about, but I'm not gonna go into detail because I haven't read the book and I do not want to read the description in the back. So, and it also matches my sweatshirt. I am talking so fast, I feel like I need to slow down. So next we have a book that I also want to read in the fall. This is a Life of You LaRue. This is by V.E. Schwab. She is a very famous writer, and I've never read anything by her. I think this might be her most popular book, but I could be wrong. I think there's a series called Vicious that's pretty famous too by her. But anyways, okay, so this is a really dark book. I'm about to explain it. This girl, she makes a pact with the devil, and she pretty much makes a pact that she wants to live forever when she's like 25, and then after that but there's like a consequence of that pact that she made, and that's that people forget about her very quickly, or people won't remember her. Yes, he who shall not be named, I already named in this video. It's a character in this in a sense, so it is a very dark book. I just really wanted to read it for this season for some reason. I mean, so far it hasn't been that dark. I think the darkest part about it is that he's a factor in this book. But anyways, can't wait to read this one. I'm already reading it, and it does have a lot of really hardcore fall vibes. So page 26, we will see if I actually get through this one. A book super out of my comfort zone, and that is Fight Club by Shug Palahniuk. I don't know how you say his name, but Fight Club, this is book number 1. I think this is a series. It's a very short book. I don't know if you guys ever watched Fight Club. Brad Pitt's in it. It's a very popular movie. I personally liked it, and I didn't know it was based on a book, and now that I found out, I have to read the book. I feel like it's a little bit wordy for my type of book, but I want to give it a chance, and the cover kind of gave me fall vibe, especially because I feel like I shouldn't go into detail, because if you haven't watched the movie and I say what's about, you will get spoilers, but just look it up if you're interested. The movie is great, so I'm guessing the book is probably awesome. Then I got this book. I saw Destiny recommended, just booktuber on here. I watch all of her videos. Love her videos, by the way. This is actually an early 2000s book, and I never heard anything about it before she mentioned it in one of her videos, but this girl goes to London to study abroad, and I feel like every single book that mentions London or any type of English setting gives me fall vibes. And I was about that, like, this book is the ultimate fall vibes. I'm currently on page 100. It's a really cute coming of age. There's some romance in there, and I feel like it's really mild so far, but look at the cover. I think this is a really cool fall read. The second book in the Harry Potter series, I've only purchased 2 of them because I can't really commit to reading Harry Potter series non-stop right now because I have a lot of books to get through. This is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Also not gonna go into detail, but the cover screams fall. I feel like every single booktalker or booktuber has recommended this book when they're talking about fall books, but I haven't, so I'm about to. Book number 1, it's really devious series. This is by Maureen Johnson. I have no idea what this book is about. I think there's some dark academia or there's a murder mystery in there. But the cover, I mean, I love this cover and I've heard a lot of things about it. Everyone's recommending it in their fall reads video, so that I'll join because I own this book and I still haven't read it. And I'm gonna recommend to you guys a book that I did read, and like I said, London books or book setting London, they scream fall to me. It is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. Don't let the cover fool you. This is not a children's book. This is book number 1 of the Magnolia Parks universe series. Quite a thick one for a romance, but I did go through it super fast. You become obsessed with these characters. It's giving Gus and London vibes, and you just have to read it and see if it's for you. Then we got another book that was sent to me by Read Forever Pub, and that is In the Shadow Garden by Liz Parker. This is about some witches in Kentucky. Nothing screams fall and Halloween more than witches, so you're reading this. I watched so many fall and Halloween book recs video before I went shopping for fall books, and I had to get this one. This was also really trending in all of these videos. That is The Nice Circus by Erin Morgenstern. The cover, it's like, I mean, that is a gorgeous cover. No idea what this book is about. I know it takes place in a circus. I'm guessing it's at night. Yeah, that's all I know about it. But it is a fall read, so I'll let you guys know when I actually read it, and I'll give you all my thoughts about it. Thrifted this book. I had no idea that my Goodwill had books. And there's another setting that really gives me fall vibe. That is a college setting. If a video takes place in college, if a book takes college, it immediately screams fall to me. And this is a college setting book. It's called Every Last Word. I don't know if it's like a character has OCD. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna stop reading the description because I want to go into a surprise. I'll be reading this. I feel like it's an older book. Nobody's recommending it right now, so I thought I would go ahead and recommend it. Got another dark academia book that is a trend in this video for a reason, and that is We Were Villains by Emma Rio. This book was trending on TikTok for the longest time in 2020, and I didn't join BookTok until 2021, I will say. No, I joined BookTok this year, but I've been creating book videos on booktube for like a year now almost, and this was one of the first books I ever purchased at Barnes & Nobles when I started my booktube channel, or when I transformed my YouTube channel into booktube, and I never read it. Nothing that I've seen so far has convinced me to read it. I think I read like a few pages and then I was like, I don't know if I'm in the mood for this, but now I've seen a lot of people talk about it and I'm being influenced to read this, so I will be picking this up during the season. So many more books to get through, so we'll see how long this video ends up being. Another book that I purchased a long time ago, a murder mystery. I feel like I got this one at the same time that I got A Good Girl's Guide to Murder book 1, and since they're kind of similar, I was like, murder that takes place in a high school. I don't know if I'm in the mood for this. I feel like I'm a huge mood reader, and I have to be in the mood to read certain books, so when I get in the mood for it, I will be reading this. There's quite a few characters, and yes, it's a murder mystery. It takes place in a high school. Enough said. The Inheritance Games book 1 especially, you have to read this book during the fall season. Something about the setting just screams fall to me. and I'm not gonna change my mind about that because it's just the perfect fall read. It's about a girl named Avery. This random billionaire in Texas leaves his entire fortune to her, and she has no idea why. There is a brothers romance triangle and that I love, and you just fall in love with the characters. It has a little bit of a found family aspect to it, so I highly recommend. I haven't talked about this book in such a long time, and I'm getting sentimental. This book is one of the best books I've ever read. One of the best things to get out of TikTok. Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. If you like the 70s setting, this is the book for you. This is a book about a band, and it's written in interview style. So the entire book, this interviewer is interviewing every single band member from this band, and there's some rumors that might have been inspired by Fleetwood Mac. I don't know how accurate that is. Heard that a lot. You just have to read this. It was so real to me that at the end of the book I ended up googling the band because I thought they were real, but it's not. It's a fiction book, so you have to read this. I read this last fall, and it's still to this day the best book I've read because of BookTok. This might be controversial because I know there's a lot of mixed reviews about this book, but I personally I loved it. I really loved it. And that is Normal People by Sally Rooney. One of those books that I feel like I judged so harshly when I first read it, and that is because I shouldn't rate books as soon as I'm done with them. I feel like I need time to think about them and process them, and that was this book. It was an experience. Like, it was so raw and real, like their romance and their relationship between Colin and Maureen, I think that's how you say her name, and it just gives me the fall vibes. Any book set in Ireland, it gives me that vibes. Read Normal People by Sally Rooney before you rule out her books. I know her writing style is not for everybody. She doesn't put quotation marks in her dialogue, and that's people, but this book was just so raw, and the series on Hulu is also really good. I recommend you read the book and then watch the series. Steph Borg convinced me to read this book, and I'm forever thankful that I did. A book that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough on here, and I think then some people are saying on TikTok that yes, it was originally a BookTok book, but to be totally honest, I didn't join BookTok until a few months ago, so I can attest to that. But that is Eleanor Oliphant Is Completely Fine. This is a Reese Witherspoon book club pick. This is by Gail Honeyman. This book got me into reading. This was years ago. I wasn't a huge reader. I walked into a bookstore and picked up this book at La Jolla, San Diego, and I fell in love with this character. She's so unnecessarily funny. If you like British, like kind of like dark Irish humor, like dry humor, I love this book. There's just like a lot. This is super cute. The setting is really fall, and you just fall in love with her. She's so quirky and weird, and she's an amazing character. This book from the Free Little Library that's kind of near my house. This is the Duff. This was turned into a movie in Hulu, and I've watched that movie many times. It's kind of one of my comfort movies. When I want like a really YA movie, I watched that, and I didn't know it was based on a book, and now I have to read it. Like, the cast is on the picture, and I hate that, but if I'm in the mood for a cute sweet romance this fall season, I will be reading the Duff. This book was also gifted to me by Read Forever Pup. It's a major print. What is that called when books are this small? I don't know, but look at the cover. Tell me if that's not the perfect fall cover. It's called At Home on Marigold Lane, and this is by Debbie Mason. It's a Highland Falls novel. I just know this is gonna be a Hallmark type of book, but I'm into that, and I will read this if I'm in the mood for a super hardcore fall book, because it doesn't get more fall than this. Bought this book a long time ago because it was $5. Never felt the urge to pick it up. It's called The Messy Lives of Book People. When I read the description a long time ago, it was kind of giving Verity vibes, but without the horror and thriller aspect to it. So, but then the cover, it kind of screams fall, so I was like, maybe I should be reading this soon. And then we're finally into the last book that I'm gonna recommend on here, and it has to be none less than Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. With the new cover, especially the new cover, screams fall for me. Look at that. Let's take a minute to appreciate that cover. I will be rereading this during the fall. I have to. It's one of my favorite books that I read about a year ago. This is about Macy. It's a childhood friends to lover romance book. It's just the sweetest book. The romance is so pure and cute. If you like childhood friends to lovers, this is the book for you. And we finally finished. That was huge haul in Fox Rec. That brings us to the end of this video. I honestly thought I will never get through all these books. I just recommended so many books to you guys. If you guys ever ask me for a book rec, I'm gonna be like, watch that video, because I just recommended so many books on here. I really hope that I read a lot during the month of October, because September is already a lost cause. I think I've only read like 6 books, and I don't know if I'm even gonna finish a book by the time the month is over. Huge reading slump. We'll see what saves me. Also, get my phone case, because that is the perfect freaking phone case for fall. This is not sponsored by Spotify. Casetify. If you're watching this video, please sponsor me. I am always talking about you guys. But that brings us to this video, and if you have any other fall book recs, feel free to leave them. I'm not really on a huge book buying bent right now, but I feel like I really need to get through all the books that I own before I buy another book. Don't hold me to that. It's probably not gonna happen, but thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye guys.